Hi everyone, I'm Dan Harding, Editor-in-Chief of Power Motor Yacht, and we finally made it to the south of France, returning to the Cannes Yachting Festival after a couple of years off. It's always such a privilege to come here and report from the show and see all these models that are going to be making their way over to the States. It's the day before the show starts, but let's take a sneak peek at the venue. Princess always has a lot of boats on display. Same thing goes for Sunseeker. We'll be getting aboard the 100 yacht here in the next day or so, so keep a lookout for that. Again, the show really kicks off. It's going to start Tuesday and then run through the weekend. A lot of the boats that we're going to see here will hopefully be making it over for the Lauderdale show. If not Lauderdale, coming across for Miami. Always a pretty amazing venue here, south of France. Again, nice to come back after a couple of years off. Absence definitely makes the heart grow fonder when it comes to a show like this. In the last couple of years, Sunseeker has been repped by One Water in the States and really helping build what was already a pretty great presence for the brand and making it even better. Stay light on our feet, a lot of setup here. Sneak peek all the new models in the Sunseeker line. Pretty amazing. We do that. This looks like a new marine. You see the 37 XP. Yep. Amazing to see these shows come together. We have some coverage on a new marine 22 meter coming into a future issue of Power Motor Yacht. Got a lineup of Prestiges. A couple exciting boats out of Prestige. Supposed to have their very first multi-hull, the Power Cat, the M48. I don't see it quite yet. We got a galleon coming in. Prestige X70. And the X60, which is the newest model into that lineup. I'll definitely climb aboard this boat at some point during the show. A lot of new models coming out of the Monsters Group Beneteau these days. I think we'll see the Wellcraft 355 that we reported on down in Florida when the boat arrived. And we're going to see a second model of that. There's also Jeanneau is coming out with their very first in the DB line. So that's supposed to be making its debut here as well. I think my favorite thing about this show is the option to take some boats out for a sea trial, either early in the morning or in the evening. It's really a marine journalist dream. After a day of full press conferences, nothing beats a day on the water to remind you why it is we do what we do. A lot of setup to do. Fairline display. A trio of new models coming out of Fairline in the year to come. Brand really making a big comeback. One of the big changes in the States that's they're being repped by Nautical Ventures, which should really help invigorate the brand in the US. Always fun to sneak into the show before it opens. Shout out to all the men and women that put these things together, really just working their tails off, painting, stapling, rolling out carpet. It's always a lot of work. Oh boy. Getting boxed in. Absolute has a number of new models as well. The star of the show being the Absolute 75. We'll be getting aboard during the show. Stay tuned for that. Oh, 48 coupe. Another cool model. Excuse me.
Ciao Giovanni.
Kroenke builds a lot of really cool boats. They used to have a presence in the US. I keep waiting for them to make a comeback to the States, but hasn't quite happened yet. Absolute 64, 68, we're getting bigger. Really amazing what they're doing with these, you know, what normally would be a tender garage. There she is. Star of the Absolute show, the Nevada 75. It's kind of cool. You can look, one thing that's nice is to look down the line and you can kind of see how a brand evolves. Really rethinking that aft space. Miles of glass on that boat. Hard to beat that backdrop. What's always cool, there's always a few builders, no matter how long you do this. There's a couple that sneak up on you, and that's one of the fun parts of the job, getting to find some builders you don't know and getting to learn about their companies and their boats. Decisions. Let's make it right. J-Craft. This is a company we profiled with a really great story from Justin Radcliffe. These are just some incredibly beautiful boats. Handmade. We had some great photography. That's gonna get a lot of attention. I think one of the themes of the show that we're gonna see, kind of a continuation in previous years, is the proliferation of electric boats and electric power options. One of the big unveils coming either tomorrow or the next day, I look at the calendar, is an electric powered Axopar 25, the first electric powered Axopar. There's also going to be a demonstration from Evoy, which is an electric engine manufacturer. We have a great feature on that company in the October issue of Power Mode Yachts. It's online now at pnymag.com. Some real disruptors there. Excited to see their future. Uh-oh, I think we're getting to the end. I'm led to believe there's an entire electric boat section. I think that might be coming up. I see a Grand Banks over there. There's the Grand Banks 85 is making its European debut at the show. And we saw the boat at Palm Beach. We were able to review it, but we're not able to test it. So we're looking to hopefully remedy that during the show. Is perfect. This is a familiar face. This is one of those Evoy powered electric boats. And it looks like it's in the spot that can be sea trialed. Stay tuned. Huh. Okay, so this is definitely the electric section. Interesting. D'Antonio. Interesting to see them in the electric boat section. These boats are pretty cool. They actually have the outboards hidden beneath the seating there. Have a different look. Candela, highly anticipated, much talked about over the years, electric foiling boat. Have yet to be able to test it. A bit of our white whale, but again, maybe that's something we could rectify. The Axopar 45 across the way. Boat that'll be in an upcoming feature. There's some fjords and the gold. Well, hang with me. Let's continue the journey. What a freaking backdrop! Never really get used to that. So during the show, we're gonna be posting some videos and reviews, content that's gonna be going up to social media. One of the best ways to not miss any of this content is really our e-newsletter. You get the option to get that newsletter either daily, get like a couple items a day, or we have a weekly newsletter. If your inbox like mine is kind of like bulging at the seams, you can get a newsletter that comes in on Friday and has all of our new content for the week. That way you never miss anything. Sometimes we let content go out even ahead of the magazines to be the first to know about some of these products, especially the real breaking news, like when we did the Seakeeper ride, that went up online almost immediately, and a couple others like the Silent Jet from Hinckley. We pushed that out in the newsletter for our real inside members first. Really a great sign when you see someone sanding though the day before the show. A little wax and wash maybe, but I don't think I'd want to be sanding today. Nice. One of the nice things about this show is there's a lot of the shows are kind of hard to leave the venue. Not really the case with Con. You can come and go, sneak out, get a much needed cup of coffee, and then continue on. Reborn Yachts. This is the one we're going to be coming back to, learn a little more about. Shiny Absolute. Ah, there's the Prestige Power Cat across the way. Kind of hard to see. That is the M48. First of many to come. Speaking of multi-hull, our company, Power Motor Yacht and Sail Magazine, Soundings, Passage Maker, are teaming up to produce a new product called Multi-Hull Power and Sail. In the past, we had the product was called Multi-Hull Sailor. It's really dedicated to all the sailing catamarans. But as we watch all these power cats coming onto the scene and they just getting in higher and higher demand, we decided to add a power component. Lydia Mullins leading that project, managing editor of Sail, and we got the first issue just coming together now. It'll be out in time for the Fort Lauderdale Boat Show. Stay tuned to Power Motor Yacht and Sail Magazine for more on that product. It's looking really good, and I think it's gonna really serve a niche well. I'm excited for that one. That product will have more on the Prestige M48. Hello. Always get one of those. Windy boats. Had a great experience testing a Windy for the first time, I don't know, 6-8 months ago. Another company that's being repped by Nautical Ventures, and I think they're gonna make a big impact in the US. Then it's out. There's also a sail component of this show at a separate venue, just to give you a sense of how massive this show really is. Gyros, underwater lighting. Sunglasses. See, maybe I may be able to buy something at this show just yet. If you're a serious boat nut and you're ever able to sneak out over here for a show, it's absolutely worth it. Beautiful committee. Amen. Sun deck. Haven't covered them in a while. Might be worth paying them a visit. Beautiful Grand Banks, 85. Haven't seen that one yet. Outer Reef. Feels like at least once a year, maybe every other year, we're doing a story about Outer Reef owners that are taking their boats around the world. Antarctica, Patagonia. I guess more than a couple years ago now, but a number of years ago, my colleagues took an Outer Reef out one evening and from this show and enjoyed a nice dinner on the water. I won't soon forget that. That was hard to beat. All right, a little more New York walking here. Say 42. I've seen this boat only on social media. It's got this like crazy flare and the bow is like a knife. Say carbon fiber yachts. To my knowledge, none have made it to the US yet. Credit where it's due. Their Instagram is worth the follow. Yeah, you should see this thing out of the water. Cut a steak with that bow. Pretty sharp gold color on that sea line there. S390. The owner of Sea Line Fjord is called Hansa. It's the Hansa Boat Group, and they're coming out with an entry-level model that is just now arriving to the U.S. More on that to come. We're going to learn more about them. Watch out. Solaris. Boat's been in our pages recently. Contributing editor Kevin Koenig got to take one of those boats out of Miami, which is really a great venue for that boat. And Dutch. Growing line of Pardo offerings.
C'est exactement ça.
So I like the setup. You can see how the boats have evolved. GT52. It's featured a couple months ago on Power Motor Yacht. What a venue. Carly Sisson had the chance to test that boat in Saint-Tropez. Hard to beat. Okay, this is one of the new Jeanneaus I was mentioning earlier. It's the DB43. Pretty radical departure for the brand. I really like the look. It's a huge side fold down gunnels. Definitely sportier. I do like this look. I like how it looked before though too. So I don't think they're not going away from their outboard leader line. Just adding to the mix. This would be a hard one to sea trial. Doesn't mean we won't try though. Invictus. It used to be that you'd only see these boats at shows like this in Dusseldorf, but Invictus is fast growing a foothold in U.S. waters. No surprise, army of Axopars. One's half covered. Let's see. Look for that electric 25 Sport. Let's see if we could find it. What's the point of a sneak peek? I'm crazy, but I don't see it. This is a familiar friend, the Wellcraft 355. That's another brand we're hearing more and more of. We got Nimbus, which we were able to test one of their new models up in Maine in wintertime, which really spoke to the versatility of the boats. And here we have a sack store. Invictus has some interesting bow. A fleet of Leopard Power Cats. Some working with them on some fun future stories. Might have a trip to South Africa in the offing. Avoid a concussion. Yeah, it's a 40-footer that is going to be entering this lineup. Fountaine Peugeot. Wow. What is that? 80 Vision F Black Edition. No kidding. Seems a little unnecessary to point that out, but looks hot. Just from a design standpoint, but like physically. Wear your shoes. A couple of kilos. This is the newest boat from Fountaine Peugeot 4S. This one has eluded us actually, but maybe that could be rectified. Outboard Aquila always make me think of Captain Bill Pike. Wow. Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, Captain Bill Pike did an amazing story taking this boat out with a friend and a young son named Strake. Really stole the show. Multi-hulls. More and more every year. Video's getting a little long, but I appreciate you guys staying with us. Silent Yachts. Really nice feature from our colleague Gary Rich on the Silent 60. More on that in that future issue of Multi-Hull I was telling you guys about too. Silent Yachts, wow. Even beamier than I expected. Reef doing some pretty amazing things. Especially on the technology front, doing some things with hybrid propulsion. Sirena. If you've been watching any of our videos from the shows, you know that's a brand always coming out with more new models. That's the case at this show too. Here we got the Sirena 78, 88. A little bit of a cliche, but these really are small super yachts. There's a seagull. I'll stick my head off. Love that. Pearl. I think there's a 72 coming stateside in the near future. And it's the whole super yacht area we didn't get to, but we're gonna have to wrap things up here pretty soon before the jet lag really comes and gets me. So this is right here, my favorite part of the show. Look at these, they got two small Suzuki outboards that will swing this bridge over. Right now it's open to let boats come and go, but during main show hours, this will be a whole loop. Feels awfully tempting to just go for a swim, but you don't want to be kicked out of the show before it even starts. My boss hates that. All right, guys, that's it for now. Thanks for staying with me. Stay tuned for all our updates from the Con Boat Show. See you guys on the water.